This is the Beelink EQi12, and thank you very much to them for sending this out. I'm looking forward to having a little look at this. I've been really into mini PCs, sort of PC and PC building soon. It's going to be a little bit of a side quest here on the channel. And I've looked at a few little Beelink machines, but I looked at the Beelink EQR6, and then the I is their kind of Intel, and the R is their Ryzen or their AMD lineup. What I like about these EQs, that they have the built-in power supply. So we'll see in a moment, the power supply is just a little 2-pin lead, and it's exactly the same case as the EQR that I had. So you see the power supply is just one of these 2 pins. We call them kettle leads a lot of the time in the UK. I don't know what you call them in the States, because the PSU is actually inside there. Okay, so we'll just have a little look at the specs in a second. This one they've sent me is, this one, EQi12, and they've sent me this one. This is their latest 1235U. So these are the sort of 4 flavors that you can get it in. And let's just look at the price here a minute, because I mean, this is nuts. Like the 1220p, okay, sure, it's 16 gigabytes and half a terabyte, but still, I mean, it's a full-on PC with an i5 for $250. I mean, it's crazy, right? Right, so the 1235U is the low power version. So this is the one they've sent me, 1235U. And they've sent me the 32 gigabyte, 1 terabyte version. I think there's the option to add in another SSD in there, an NVMe hard drive in there. So we'll do that at some point, get that set up, and we'll have a good look at it in just the near future. But I think, yeah, for something with 32 gigabytes of RAM, now it is DDR4 RAM. That's one thing I'll say about it. So it's not the very top of the line RAM, but still, if it's got a fast enough hard drive, and I say you can have 2 fast hard drives, so 2 terabytes is what you could put in here, and you would, I think you'd still find that a pretty capable little machine. So this version that I've got is $360, so still good, right? Yeah, it doesn't have a Thunderbolt. I did wonder that. That's something that it probably does miss. It's just one USB-C out the front here, and that's the 10 gigabit USB 3 variety. And then there's a I think there's a USB 3 on the front. And then if I remember rightly, these two are the USB 2, one's just for keyboard and mouse. So there's a USB 3 on the front here, and then there's on the back, there is also one USB 3 and 2 USB 2s. And I'll obviously be back with benchmarks for that one. I mean, they're just neat little packages though, really, aren't they? They're just really neat little packages. And the price-wise, I mean, yeah, it's difficult to say no, really, isn't it? Yeah, it's inexpensive, yeah. And I think these are their quiet cooling system is what they're going for here. They're going for it being incredibly low noise, but still having a fan. Office PC variety, yeah, for stuff like that. Or having a dual monitor setup, running your Windows programs. I will try and actually edit on it. I will probably go ahead and put Premiere on it and give it a go. I think because you can have the 2 SSDs, you know, you can do that. You can ship out a little bit of a load to one of the SSDs. You can have your files on one, you can have your programs on the other. I think that's always quite good. And this says up to 8 terabytes. Is that because I'm on a different processor now? So I think it goes up, so the 12450H is actually slightly less than the newer one. And the 12650 is slightly more, because that's an i7, look. So this is the i5, and yeah, so the 1235 is the lower power version. Is it newer than the other 2, I wonder? So here's a bit of a rundown of the different CPUs that you can get in the EQi12. They were all launched at the same time, but you can see that the 1235U has that lower base power. So if this is a PC that you want to sort of leave on for a long time, you can save a little bit on those electricity bills. And as you go up through the range, you're just getting more of those performance cores. So you can see, although the max turbo is not that much higher on the i7, you're getting 6 performance cores and fewer efficiency cores. So it's going to be a faster PC all around that one. This is really good. This is the Beelink EQi12, and this is a quiet office PC. I'm going to talk in a bit of detail about this, and I think, that makes sense to me. What I would expect to do is be able to leave the 13-inch monitor, the e-ink monitor on this type of place here, have a small PC like this, a quiet office PC, and be able to type away and have it as my e-ink computer. I'm enjoying covering these mini PCs because they're really good and they're really good value. The i12 stands for 12th generation Intel. If you're using any age of computer at this point and you think, do you know what, I'm starting to get a bit frustrated with the actual performance of it, it's well worth looking at one of these mini PCs, because for less than you think, you can really replace a lot of that power. And I want to talk to you about today, I've got a new way that I'm going to start to use in my reviews of sort of comparing these. Now, I'll show you the charts in a moment, but it's got this Intel Iris graphics, and that's probably one of its issues really. But why are these good? They're good because they've got the power supplies built in. So what you don't have to do is actually have a separate power brick. So it doesn't have to have a brick on the lead or a really big chunky power adapter. It's just the power supply is inside there. So it's nice and compact and there's no big leads to carry around as well. And then they're very quiet. I'll bring it right up to the microphone now. I know it's not doing a lot, but you'll find you can probably not hear very much at all. They've gone and done not just the standard kind of few benchmarks, couple of benchmarks that I do with, normally I run Geekbench and use those, but I've actually done a lot more benchmarking lately. And this is my raw data that I'm going to share with you today. And we're looking at the Beelink EQi12. And I'll just tell you the benchmarks, what they are. And what I've tried to do in this sort of 5-point chart is I've tried to think about an individual use case. And this, when I think about these mini PCs or PCs in general, it's very hard to just say, okay, who should buy what without some kind of sort of indication for each individual use case. So I've got sort of 5 main kind of use cases that you might have. The productivity use case, and for that indication I've gone for Geekbench 6 multi-core. So it got 7,857, this Beelink EQi12, sorry, with the i5-12 35U. And then for creativity, for like kind of light creativity tasks, I've gone for the Geekbench GPU score, which this is where this generation of Intel really fall down. So it's 11,368. And then I also did Blender benchmark. And again, you're not going to get great things out of this particular mini PC from that, 103.19. And then gaming, again, just 1,380 from this, because that's going to rely on the GPU and the CPU in tandem. And then for actual local AI models, I've used the Geekbench AI model there. And for that, I've used OpenVINO on Intel, and I've used, I think, DirectML on AMD. So anyway, back to the actual chart. This is the Beelink EQi chart then. So you get this kind of spider graph here. Now this radar plot, I think some people call it, because I think for productivity, the reason the multi-core appeals to me a bit more for the productivity is just having that ability to dot between different tasks. I think that's quite important for people buying an office PC, really. And this 32 gigabytes of RAM, let's not forget, and less than 400, probably is less than 300 pounds, but less than $400. I think it's a really good deal on 1 terabyte hard drive. But you can see for any of the kind of 3D GPU intensive things, you're just not getting anything. So good little processor. Really probably wanting a bit more in terms of the GPU. I think that's quite a good start, really. That's quite a good place to benchmark. And I want to benchmark against the actual PC that I'm streaming from here, which is the i9 from a few years ago. So actually, this i9 was, pretty much top of the pile when I bought it, sort of 5 or 6 years ago. This is the desktop PC that I'm actually streaming from right now, but you can see now for productivity it's a bit long in the tooth. Still, because it's got a dedicated graphics card, it still does have a bit higher on the AI inference plot there, the Geekbench AI score, and it still does have a little bit better performance than, it does have quite a lot better performance than the Beelink EQi12 for gaming, because of that dedicated graphics. And for 3D creation, it's just, it's just not there. The graphics card here is a 10 series RTX one. But for light creativity tasks, and I still do edit quite a lot, but I've recently just decided, no, that's me for editing on this main PC. And actually, what you've been seeing me edit on most recently, or you haven't seen me edit, that's a funny thing to say, isn't it? Actually, I've been using this to edit the GPD WinMax 2 to edit just about all the videos that you're seeing on this channel recently. So okay, so that's the Beelink, great little company Beelink. Do check out their mini PCs. You know, I think there's really good options in each of their kind of model ranges. Do just go ahead and check them out.